I'm Lisa Zabaniak from Life Like You Mean It, and today we are talking all about the spring equinox, otherwise known as Ostara. This video is in three parts. First, we're going to talk about what is and when is the spring equinox. Second, we are going to cover the goddess Easter and how she is involved with Ostara, or the spring equinox. And third, we are going to cover some modern ways that you can celebrate this pagan Sabbath. Let's get started. So, first, when is and what is the spring equinox? So, this is a celebration literally of what we call the first day of spring. What's really happening is we have the sun that is traveling, or really the earth that's traveling around the sun, but the sun is going to hit a very particular spot along the equator that it only goes through twice. Once the spring equinox and once for the autumn or fall equinox. And this day for the spring equinox, which usually falls on March 20th or March 21st, depending where you are in the world, this day is of equal balance. That means that we actually have 12 hours of sunlight as well as 12 hours of darkness. So we have equality on this day. So, this was a very important celebration for our early ancestors, our pagan ancestors, because really, along with Yule and Imbolc, that we've also had other videos on, which, if you'd like to see the one about Imbolc, is right here, which are also celebrating the movement of the sun, right? The return of the sun coming back. This would have been very, very important when you relied on the sun for farming. I mean, obviously we do as well now, but in our modern day and age, we can go to the grocery store and get food from all over the world at any time that we want. That wasn't the case for our earlier ancestors. And so the mark of the return of the sun, the return of spring, this fertile season was really, really important. And we're going to come back to that fertility in a moment. But you might be asking yourself, why is it called the spring equinox and also Ostara? What in the world is that all about? So let's talk about it. Part two of our video is the Ostara part and the goddess Easter. Now, Easter isn't spelt exactly the way that we spell Easter as a Christian holiday, but Easter is a goddess that is celebrating the dawn, celebrating spring, celebrating fertility. And so the name Ostara, that is also known as the spring equinox, is derived from this goddess, Easter. Now, fertility is a very, very big part of our spring equinox or Ostara celebrations. And this is not just fertility of people and even animals, but also of plant life, right? Going back to the whole idea of welcoming back that sunlight and that warmth so we can grow us some food. So before we go on about how we can actually celebrate this, let's just take a quick moment here to just talk about how closely related that name Easter, Christian holiday, is with the goddess Easter, right? It sounds like I'm saying the same thing. And that is because it is a really well-known fact that when Christianity came along, there were a lot of little nuances like this that, in order to try to help to coax some of the pagan ancestors into following Christianity, some of our goddesses had become saints, like Saint Bridget or the goddess Bridget, and as well as some of our holidays as well. So we've got this as a prime example where our spring equinox or Ostara holiday turned into Easter, following the goddess Easter, right? So that we would basically be able to find that transition into Christianity a little bit easier. So let's go talk about how we celebrate now. So the third part of our video is modern ways that we can celebrate. So, of course, our pagan ancestors had all kinds of celebrations that lots of pagans around the world do. If you actually just do a quick Google search, you'll see all different cultures all around the world that have different celebrations for their version of the spring equinox or Ostara. What we can do at home is actually not a whole heck of a lot different from what you might be doing already to celebrate Easter, because Easter is all about, well, it's supposed to be all about the rising of Christ, but what it's turned into is about Easter bunnies and their eggs and putting on Easter egg hunts for our children. Now, there's a reason for that, and that's again because of Ostara and our goddess Easter, being the goddess of fertility. Eggs are a really large symbol of fertility, right? And so you don't actually have to do anything different in terms of using eggs to celebrate. You can still hold your Easter egg hunt. You can still paint your Easter eggs, your beautiful, vibrant colors. That's perfect. Just keep in mind that, of course, Easter changes slightly on when it actually falls in the year, but usually is in April. And of course, the spring equinox or Ostara is in March. So March 20th, 21st. So you might just want to bring up your Easter egg hunt early, or perhaps what you can do is paint your lovely eggs for the actual spring equinox and then make a lovely altar that you can have out between the spring equinox on March 20th, 21st to Easter, right? April, whatever it falls on. So you can then use those eggs to put out in your Easter egg hunt. Of course, we know that we usually put out chocolate eggs, right? So, best of both worlds, you can have your beautifully painted Easter eggs on your altar, and then you can have your chocolate ones that you put out, and you can still have the same intention here that this is to celebrate fertility, the bringing of new life. Right, leaving the dark behind and coming back into the light. Now, talking about that altar, if you've never done an altar before, you can have a very specific space that you only use for this, or it can be a space that doubles as something else. But for this period of time, you're just going to clear everything off of it, give it a little clean, and then you're going to just place some things that represent Ostara for you. So the Easter eggs is a perfect symbol, so go ahead and do that. Fresh cut spring flowers, also beautiful, right? Anything that you look at and you see, wow, that really represents the sun rising, the spring returning, fertility of all life. Whatever that you see, maybe you are artistic and you'd like to draw something and place that on your altar. Perfect. And if you're not into making an altar, that's fine too. You can still have fresh cut flowers around your home. You can open up all the windows in the home to let the fresh spring air in. And you can also do some spring cleaning. I know that one doesn't sound like that is that much fun, but spring cleaning is actually incredibly symbolic, both for modern day humans as well as our ancestors in the past. And certainly as a practicing pagan, doing a lovely clean of my altar space, my home, right, is very symbolic, not just about tidying things up and getting things clean. So consider that as well as a way to actually practice and celebrate. Now, my favorite way of actually celebrating is by doing a seed manifesting kind of ritual. And I talk about this in my Patreon Witch membership, which I would love for you to go and visit. You can just use the QR code here, or you could go down into the description and click on the link. But this is a membership for baby witches or intermediate witches that are looking to learn more of this, right? How to do spells, how to do rituals, right? How to celebrate these different types of celebrations, our pagan Sabbats, for example. So we've got all kinds of juicy information in there. Go on in and check it out. And this month, we happen to be talking about our seed manifestation, my most favorite thing. I hope you found this video helpful and got lots of really important information from it and are nice and excited and inspired to go and celebrate the spring equinox or Ostara, and maybe even have opened your eyes a little bit to a smidge of history of where we actually got the name Easter. So If you haven't already, I'd love for you to subscribe. You can do that by clicking here or over here. And don't forget to click that gray bell icon so you never miss a notification of one of my videos landing. See you next time.